What's up, YouTube fans? I'm Benji and this is Living Life on Life's Terms. Today we are going to show you how I'm going to build my raised garden bed using Hugelkultur. I did not coin that term, did a lot of research, and I'll put some links in the description for Self-Sufficient Me with Mark. Man, he really showed me some cool stuff on how to do that. So let's get started. Let's take a trip back here on the side of the house. Duck underneath these awesome trees. So this is all the firewood that we got this last year. And as you can see, as the kids come and stock wood, they don't cover it very well. Whatever. Tarp flies off. But what I wanted to show you, man, was last year's. And because of that same issue, before I moved in and got with my girlfriend, got all this wood. It's almost 2 years old, super aged. Even this amazing wood back here that's super ripe, got grubs in it. This is the type of wood that's just laying around. When you want to get wood that's not freshly cut, you don't want your garden to steal your nitrogen. I've already loaded one load. We're going to go into that and go check it out. Okay, this is a hardware cloth. I'll put a link for it where I got it on Amazon, but you can get it at your local big box stores and hardware stores if you'd like to put your dollars back more locally. I get that. I try to in most cases. This is 1/4 inch hardware cloth. The dimensions, I forget the gauge, but I'll put that in the description. It's 4 feet wide, and it is, I think, 120 feet. Since I'm doing 3 beds, that's what we're gonna go with. Listen to the birds singing, guys. Slow spring. All right, so this is going to be my pollinator bed, so I can get lots of butterflies, bees, beautiful blooms. Gonna go as organic as possible. What I did is went to Lowe's and got these blocks, these cinder blocks. They're super cheap. Stack them up. You can build your boards in them. I got untreated lumber. It's not gonna last as long. We don't have cedar fir around here. My other 2 beds that I ordered specially are gonna have is gonna be made totally different. But this one was the cheaper one that I made. Take you some rebar, drive it down in there. I'm leaving these up a little higher in the back due to the fact that I might do some tiles for some tomatoes, or well, I'm not doing tomatoes, but still, just didn't drive those down all the way. Here's a hardware cloth that I put down. Use little landscape staples, tacked it down. All these Amazon boxes I've been collecting all year long are finally going to get put to use. Over that's one we'll put on there. That's going to knock down and kill the grass. The worms are going to come up from the bottom. They just love cardboard. Next, Hugelkultur. Invented as far back as the Germans. What they would do is build mounds, and then they put their dirt over the top. And as this wood decomposes and breaks down organically, brings up all your natural worms, grubs that break down and are really good for your plants. The other thing is the cost-saving thing. I don't know if you guys noticed, but this right here that I built right now is a 12 by 4 right there, and an 18, excuse me, let's start over, a 12 by 8, okay, 12 deep, 12 inches deep. And we're gonna go 4 this way, 8 this way. Then we got another 2 this way and 8 this way, but this 18 inches deep. Man, that's a lot of dirt. It's a lot of expense, and I really want my beds to look good. But I don't want to break the bank on it on these 2. So this is gonna save me a lot of dirt, man. I'm gonna go about halfway, a little bit more on this one, and this one, since it's so shallow, I'm only gonna go up probably the first 6 inches. I'm not gonna use the rest of that wood. Let's walk over here. Somebody busting some chainsaws. Man, that always amazes me. These people get up there and do that kind of work. He's got him a lifter, but I like the ones that get those little things on their feet and just jump up there and do it. Dangerous work, man, but somebody's got to do it. Anyways, I digress. This is all the pots that I dumped, almost all of them over here from last year. I'm going to recycle this dirt. I'm going to be moving it. That's going to go in there. I'm going to mix it with my soil that I'll be going over later. Let's walk over here real quick. Super quick update. Oh, let's stop here. These are moles. Oh, you know, here in the south, they're little blind. See that little hill mountain? It's another reason why I put that hardware cloth in. I can't dig one up. They're blind and they just dig all through your yard, and what they're after is grubs, and they'll eat the roots of your plants. So that's another reason why I did the hardware cloth. They can't chew through it. This is some lantana that I bought today. One of them's going to be kind of a reddish orange, and another one's going to be straight yellow. It's going to go in the lower deck. Butterflies just love these things, guys. Take a quick look at my rose bush, and man, has it taken off. We've got roses and buds everywhere. Let's just back out. I mean, that was all from, you know, putting my worm castings on it, putting my bone meal and my blood meal down. Looking good. This was the beginnings of what I started with, a compost pile. It's going to be moved, mainly for aesthetics. Put some of my old potting soil in there. Been using eggshells, where I cut these borers today, sawdust, coffee grounds, all my old lettuce that rotted and everything. Fern still looking amazing, super green, healthy. Banana plant hanging in there, man. We're gonna that's gonna go in the back tier of that pollinator garden. And hers is just doing great. We repotted this thing that she bought at some specific species of elephant ear, and man, is it beautiful. Especially these new leaves, waxy and glossy. They're looking. Again, I made my own potting soil. Alright guys, be right back. Alright folks, I'm going to show you on my last wheelbarrow load here how I'm choosing to mix my soil for my raised top bed. I'm going to use this sphagnum peat moss. I'm going to use 2 buckets full. I'm going to dump that in there and show you the next ingredient. Alright, so peat moss is nutritionally inert. It's really, I'm using it for a moisture retention material and a binder. You want to make sure you get in here and break up all these clumps, because when we get ready to mix all this, it's going to be a lot easier to mix. Alright, I'll be right back after I do that. Alright, so next I've got a water bucket here, just regular tap water. So my sink. This is very dry material, it'll expand. And it's very reluctant to mix with water at first. So this is 2 gallons that I'm adding. I'm very close to it. I think I come a little bit under there. This is where your hands gonna get a little dirty, guys. You're gonna get, guys and ladies, you're gonna get dirty doing this, and that's alright. Feels like a bowl of cereal and cornflakes don't wanna soak up the milk. But what's gonna happen is it will eventually. You just gotta work with it. Be right back after I get this part done. Alright, next guys, after I mixed it up real good, if you can squeeze it and get a few drops of water to come out. You don't want it pouring out. Next thing is, this is chicken manure, composted chicken manure, 1 cubic foot. I've been using half a bag per wheelbarrow load. And you're gonna see this is just gonna come out amazing. Be right back. As you can see, a lot of people might want to ask, does this stink? It doesn't stink. This is composted chicken manure. So basically the chicken scratch at the bottom of chicken pens. Hopefully one of these days I'll be blessed enough to have chickens, because they're very good and helpful. This will not burn your garden. It's very low nitrogen. It has natural probiotics in it. It's got the natural bacteria, beneficial bacteria that's going to be in there and help compost. It will not burn it. It's got very low nitrogen, but it'll help make this garden organic. I'll be right back when I get done mixing this part. Then we'll go on to the next step. All right, and then over here is all the pots from everything that I dumped out of my pots. And this was a mixture last year, my first attempt at mixing soil. It's got a lot of cow compost in it. It's got minimum perlite. I didn't really understand the benefits of perlite, which we'll be adding here in a minute. This is really good. I've already picked out most of the roots. We're going to use that as our dirt portion to add the sand. So this will be the third component. You can use, regular topsoil out of the bag, but if you've got it around your yard, I recommend using it to save you money. We're going to do 2 bucket loads, and I'll meet you back over there. All right. So like I said, last year it was mainly potting soil that was composed of basically sand, compost, wood bark chips. Now these pepper plants that I had planted in here are gonna take over and start rooting back up. Some paper from the cardboard. Throw that over in our compost bin. Alright, I'll be right back after I mix this up, and then we're gonna do the magic part. Alright, the next step will be adding your perlite. I got this huge bag. It's 4 cubic foot from my local nursery. I don't always shop at big box, man, but big box didn't have bulk for the cheapest price. This huge bag, I think, and it should do all 3 of my beds. I know it had a price on it somewhere, but I didn't pay much. 32 bucks. Alright. So what you want to do is, or what I'm seeing, you can mix this too. It's very dusty now. It's volcanic rock. I just take a big old cup here, and I'm going to throw 10 of them in there. I'll be right back after I get the 10 in there. Alright, so perlite is the white stuff that you see in this expensive potting soil. It's inert, meaning that it's not going to add any nutritional value to your stuff. Sorry, I'm coughing off the dust. You want to be careful of that. Basically, it's in there for filler, number 2 for soil drainage, and it'll keep your soil nice and light and fluffy, as you'll see here in a minute. So I'm just going to lightly mix this in so I can get the dust cut down, and then we're going to add our final ingredient and 2 ingredients, and we'll get it all mixed up, and I'll show it to you, and we'll dump it in my flower bed over there, and you'll see how nice and rich it looks. I mean, you pay $30, excuse me, probably about $20 a bag for it. Be right back. Alright, so this is going to be the next thing I'm going to use. I'm going to use some blood meal, and that's for the nitrogen, NPK. Alright, and then I'm going to use some bone meal. Going to have the phosphorus for blooms, okay? These are not water soluble, meaning when you water them in, it's not going to work on your plants immediately. The bacteria in your soil will break it down, and then it'll be able to, it's supposed to help you throughout the year not have to fertilize as much. So for the first couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I will be using top fertilizer, watered in on top. But after that, this should kick in and everything should be doing what it's supposed to do. The organisms symbiotically eating the nutrition of the chicken manure, the bone meal, the blood meal, working to release the potassium and the nitrogen into the soil that the plants can uptake, so we'll have a good yield. Be right back. Oh, actually, hang on. I'm going to show you about how much I use per wheelbarrow. Good handful. Scattered around. Another good handful. And a little piece of a handful. Bone meal. Really dusty, guys. Really dusty. Bone meal's just dried bone, man. People not wasting animal parts. the best way you can go organically with your garden here. Even though it's grown with or used by animal parts, the dried bloods just from chicken factories, you know, beef slaughterhouses, they dry it up and use the products. Be right back after I mix this in and we'll see what we got. Okay, so about 10 minutes later, we got it all mixed in by hand. You can take your time and do it with a shovel or a rake or whatever, but as you can see, super rich soil. And I would take you on the ride on the wheelbarrow, but I've got my phone in my hand, so that's not gonna work. Maybe one day when I get a GoPro. All right, meet you over at the bed. All right. So just gonna kind of smooth it out. This is not packed soil. It's gonna settle down some, okay? Matter of fact, we're about to get some good rain. All right, well, I'm gonna level that out. But just to refresh our memory, you know, we use the Hugelkultur. We put some old rotten firewood at the bottom. You can do sticks, limbs, leaves, anything that's dead, been dead, nothing green. All right, and then it took 7 wheelbarrow loads to fill up this 2x8, about 12 inches deep. I think that'll be all for this week, folks. It's getting ready to rain. I gotta go to work tonight, and throughout the week I'll be working on this back one. It's gonna take a lot more dirt, and then we'll get to planting. Thank you guys for showing up. Please click like, subscribe, share with others. This is Living Life on Life Terms, and I'm Ben G. And remember, life is good, real good.